Okay, we all think we know the pyramids, right? The massive, iconic ones at Giza. But what if I told you the real story? The one about how they actually figured out how to build a true pyramid doesn't even start there. It starts with a different king and a whole series of incredible experiments written in stone.
So that's the big question, isn't it? It's fascinated us for thousands of years. How did an ancient civilization create something so geometrically perfect? Well, the answer? It's surprisingly simple, but it's probably not what you're thinking. That's right, you practice. The journey to that perfect pyramid wasn't some single stroke of genius. It was a story of trial, error, and just relentless innovation, all driven by one visionary pharaoh.
So to really understand Giza, we have to go back a step. We have to find the master who laid all the groundwork first.
Everyone knows the Great Pyramid at Giza was built by King Khufu. But the revolutionary ideas, the breakthroughs that made it all possible, they were all developed by his father, the real and maybe forgotten architect of Egypt's Pyramid Age.
And his name was Sneferu. Now, this was a king whose ambition was matched only by his willingness to experiment on a scale the world had literally never seen before.
And here he is, on the left, a statue of the man himself, King Sneferu. On the right, one of his audacious building projects, the famous bent pyramid. When you look at these, you just get the sense of a ruler who thought in terms of creating mountains, not just monuments.
And get this, his name, Sneferu, it means he who has perfected me. It's almost prophetic, right? Like he was destined to be the pharaoh who would take the old pyramid form and finally perfect it. Now, any great innovator needs one resource more than anything else: time. And Sneferu had plenty of it. He ruled for somewhere between 24 and 48 years, founded the incredibly powerful Fourth Dynasty, and get this, built not one, but 3 massive pyramids. Each one was a brand new experiment.
And his first great experiment begins at a site called Medum. And this thing wasn't just another royal tomb. It was basically a laboratory for a completely radical new idea. This is the medium pyramid today. I know, it doesn't look like the smooth-sided pyramids we all know. It looks more like a strange stone tower. But its unique shape, well, that holds the secret to Snefer's entire process.
And here's the absolute key to understanding all of this. Sneferu didn't just invent the pyramid from scratch. He started with the older design, the step pyramid, which was kind of like a giant staircase to the heavens. His revolutionary goal was to fill in those steps, to create that smooth, perfect triangular shape, the very first true pyramid.
So how exactly did he try to do it? Let's peel back the outer layers and take a look at the anatomy of this incredible experimental structure.
Oh, this is just brilliant. This cross-section shows you the method perfectly. You can see it so clearly here. They didn't build a new pyramid. They basically encased an old one. The core is a traditional step pyramid, and Sneferu's builders just added an outer casing to create those smooth, sloping sides. Now, let's follow the path inside. This diagram shows a long, descending passage burrowing deep into the pyramid's core, heading right for the king's final resting place.
The journey is a multi-stage process. You enter through that descending passage, you pass through a couple of small rooms, and then you have to climb a vertical shaft right up into the heart of this stone mountain, the burial chamber itself.
But building the chamber itself presented the greatest challenge of all. And the solution they found, deep inside this pyramid, would literally change architecture forever.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You have millions of tons of limestone pressing down from every single direction. How do you create an open space, a room, that can withstand that unimaginable pressure? This view from inside gives you a real sense of that immense weight. You are literally inside the rock. Any structural weakness, any tiny miscalculation, and the entire thing would just come crashing down. The solution was an engineering marvel. They built the walls so that each layer of stone projected inwards, just slightly beyond the one below it, getting closer and closer together at the top. This technique is called corbelling, and that analogy of an upside-down stone staircase is perfect. It brilliantly channels all that downward pressure outwards into the surrounding blocks, creating a stable, self-supporting roof. This was the critical innovation. This was the breakthrough. The Medum Pyramid might look like a ruin today, but the lessons learned there were absolutely monumental.
Sneferu's legacy isn't just a tomb, it's a testament to the power of prototyping.
And just look at the evolution right here. On the left is the medium pyramid, the first attempt. On the right is his very next project, the bent pyramid. You can literally see the learning process in stone. He took the data from his first experiment and immediately applied it to build something even bigger and better. And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. Sneferu's genius wasn't in getting it right the first time. It was in understanding that perfection requires practice. His so-called failures weren't failures at all. They were the necessary steps, the R&D, that gave his son, Khufu, the knowledge to eventually build the Great Pyramid at Giza. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? From ancient pyramids all the way to modern rockets, how many of the world's greatest successes are actually standing on the shoulders of forgotten failures? It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the first draft is the most important one of all.